Bruce Lee walks onto the Hollywood set knowing immediately that he doesn't belong there, at least, not in their eyes. Los Angeles, 1966. Late morning. A soundstage just outside Burbank. Bright lights hang overhead, cables snake across the concrete floor, cameras sit mounted like silent judges. This is a big production. Union crew. Studio money. Real Hollywood. Bruce is dressed simply. Black slacks, white shirt, sleeves rolled slightly past his wrists. No entourage. No trailer. No star treatment. He's here as a technical advisor and occasional stunt performer. That's what the paperwork says. Not an actor, not a lead, just someone brought in to help with the fight scenes. The assistant director spots him almost immediately. "Hey," the man says, clipboard tucked under his arm, not looking directly at Bruce. "You can stand over there, behind the main cast." "Not please. Not Mr. Lee. Just instruction." Bruce nods once and walks where he's told. Around him, actors rehearse lines. The lead, tall, square-jawed, unmistakably American, practices exaggerated punches in the air, each movement wide and theatrical. A fight choreographer corrects him gently, careful not to bruise the ego that comes with a 7-figure contract. Bruce watches, quiet, observant. He notices everything. The punches are slow. Overcommit. Every movement telegraphs intent. The footwork is wrong. Balance constantly broken. If this were real, the fight would be over in seconds, and not in the hero's favor. But this isn't real. This is Hollywood. A couple of crew members glance at Bruce. One whispers something, another smirks. To them, he looks like a kid who wandered onto the wrong set. Too small. Too Asian. Too quiet. 10 minutes pass. The director claps his hands. "All right, let's run the fight once. Just a rehearsal." No camera. The lead actor steps forward confidently. He throws a big, looping punch at the stuntman playing the villain. It looks impressive. It also looks fake. The director frowns. "Something's off," he mutters. "It doesn't feel dangerous." Bruce takes a breath. He doesn't step forward yet. He waits. Because Bruce Lee has learned something about moments like this. You don't force them. You let them come to you. And when they do, you make sure they never forget. The director rubs his forehead, frustration creeping into his voice. "It looks rehearsed," he says. "Like everyone's waiting for their turn." The lead actor shrugs. "That's the choreography they gave me." The choreographer shifts uncomfortably. He knows it's not working, but this is Hollywood. You don't argue with stars, you adjust around them. Then, almost as an afterthought, the director glances toward Bruce. "You," he says, pointing with the end of his pen, "you're the martial arts guy, right?" Bruce steps forward calmly. No hurry. No ego. "Yes," he says. "Can you show us something that feels more real?" the director asks. There's skepticism in his tone. This isn't respect. It's a last resort. A few crew members exchange looks. Someone chuckles under their breath. Bruce nods. "I can." He walks onto the taped-off space where the fight is supposed to happen. No stretching. No warm-up routine. He doesn't even take a stance yet. "Who's attacking?" he asks. The stuntman raises a hand. "I can." They face each other. Bruce studies the man for half a second. Weight distribution. Tension in the shoulders. Where his eyes go before he moves. "Don't act," Bruce says quietly. "Just try to hit me." The stuntman hesitates. For real?" "As real as you're comfortable," Bruce replies. The room grows quieter. Something in Bruce's tone cuts through the casual noise of the set. The stuntman nods and steps in, throwing a standard movie punch. Wide. Predictable. Bruce moves. Not back. Forward. One step. A blur. His forearm intercepts the punch before it fully extends. His body turns slightly, redirecting force instead of meeting it. In the same motion, his other hand snaps out, stopping an inch from the stuntman's throat. He freezes there. No contact. Just proximity, close enough that everyone can see it. The stuntman's eyes widen. He hadn't even felt the block. Just suddenly realized he was exposed. Completely. Bruce steps back. That, he says calmly, is what danger looks like. No one laughs. The director stares. The lead actor shifts uncomfortably. A few crew members straighten, suddenly aware they just witnessed something very different from choreography. That was fast, the director says. Bruce shakes his head. Not fast. Efficient. He gestures to the lead actor. May I show you? The actor hesitates. Pride flickers across his face. Then curiosity wins. Sure, he says. Just, easy. Bruce nods. Always. They square up. The actor throws his punch. And in less than a second, Bruce is standing beside him, not in front of him. One hand resting lightly on the actor's chest, the other hovering near his jaw. The punch never lands. The room goes silent. 10 minutes ago, Bruce Lee was told to stand in the back. Now every eye is on him. And no one is smiling anymore. The silence on set feels heavier than the studio lights. The lead actor slowly lowers his arm. He looks at Bruce, then around the room, searching for a reaction that might help him save face. None comes. The director clears his throat. Can you do that again? Bruce nods. Of course. This time, he explains as he moves. You're committing too early, he says, positioning the actor's feet with 2 fingers. Your weight shifts before your punch. Anyone watching knows what's coming. He steps back into place. Try again. The actor throws another punch. Better this time. Tighter. Still not enough. Bruce intercepts it again, but slower now, deliberately. He lets everyone see the mechanics. The angle. The timing. How little force it actually takes. You don't need power first, Bruce says. You need position. He releases the actor and turns to the director. On camera, big movements look impressive, Bruce continues. But danger doesn't look big. It looks sudden. A crew member mutters, "Damn," without realizing he said it out loud. The director nods slowly. Show us how you'd choreograph it. Bruce walks through the sequence once. Clean. Simple. Efficient. No wasted motion. No flashy spins. Just cause and effect. When he finishes, the fight suddenly makes sense. The lead actor exhales. That felt real. It would be, Bruce replies. If someone wanted to hurt you. The director claps his hands. All right. Reset. We're changing the fight. Someone from wardrobe whispers, who is this guy? 10 minutes ago, Bruce Lee was background. Now the entire set is reorganizing around him. And the producer watching from behind the monitors has started asking questions, the kind that change careers. The producer steps closer to the monitors, eyes narrowed, studying Bruce like a problem he didn't realize he needed to solve. Where did you learn this? He asks. Bruce answers without hesitation. From reality. The producer smirks, unsure if that's confidence or arrogance. They roll cameras. The fight begins. What looked stiff and artificial an hour ago now feels sharp. Dangerous. The lead actor moves differently. Tighter. More grounded. Bruce stands just off camera, watching, correcting with small hand gestures between takes. Cut. The director smiles for the first time all day. That works. The producer doesn't smile. He walks over to Bruce. You're not in the scene, he says. Why does it feel like you are? Bruce thinks for a moment. Because the fight is honest. The producer studies him. You ever act? Yes. Anything I'd know? No. The producer nods slowly. That might change. Behind them, two crew members talk in low voices. I thought he was just a stunt guy. Yeah, not anymore. Bruce hears it. He always hears it. But he doesn't react. He's learned something important about Hollywood. Respect doesn't come from explaining who you are. It comes from letting them feel it. During the break, the lead actor sits alone, towel around his neck, staring at his hands. Bruce approaches quietly. You okay? Bruce asks. The actor nods. Yeah. Just, rethinking some things. He hesitates, then looks up. I've done fight scenes for years. Nobody ever explained it like that. Bruce sits on a nearby crate. Most people learn shapes. Few learn purpose. The actor chuckles. You ever get tired of being underestimated? Bruce considers the question. No. It's useful. The actor raises an eyebrow. When people underestimate you, Bruce continues, they show you who they really are. And they stop guarding their assumptions. The actor lets that sink in. Across the set, the producer watches them talk. He turns to the director. I want him in the shot. The director blinks. Bruce? He's not cast. I know, the producer says. But the fight feels empty without him. A runner jogs over to Bruce. They want you in wardrobe. Bruce stands. Smooth. Calm. Looks like you're acting today, the actor says. Bruce smiles slightly. Looks like it. 10 minutes ago, he was told to stand in the back. Now they're making space for him in front of the camera. And somewhere deep inside the system, something just shifted. Wardrobe doesn't know what to do with Bruce at first. No measurements on file, the assistant says, flipping through papers. Is he stunt or cast? Both, the producer replies. For now. They hand Bruce a simple jacket. Nothing flashy. Neutral colors. He puts it on without comment. On set, the crew adjusts blocking. The camera angle shifts slightly to include Bruce in the frame. No announcement. No explanation. Just a quiet reconfiguration, like the set itself is adapting to him. They roll again. This time, Bruce moves through the fight naturally. No exaggerated reactions. No unnecessary motion. Every step has purpose. When he strikes, it's controlled. When he blocks, it's minimal. After the take, the room stays quiet. Play it back, the producer says. They watch the monitor. Bruce doesn't dominate the scene, and that's the problem. He makes everyone else look slow. Artificial. Like they're pretending while he's telling the truth. The producer exhales. That's dangerous. The director nods. Yeah. In a good way. A crew member whispers, he doesn't act like he's acting. Bruce hears it and almost smiles. The producer turns to him. You realize this changes things, right? Bruce meets his eyes. Change is always happening. Most people just notice it late. The producer studies him for a long moment. Finish the day, he says. We'll talk after. Bruce nods. He walks back to his mark. Hollywood didn't invite him here to stand out. But it just realized it can't afford to ignore him, filming wraps for the day. Lights dim. Crew members unplug cables, coil wires, return the set to controlled chaos. Bruce wipes sweat from his hands, calm as ever. The producer approaches again, this time without the edge. Walk with me. They move toward the edge of the soundstage, away from ears. You know Hollywood likes boxes, the producer says. We label people. Makes things easier. Bruce nods. Boxes are comfortable. They were going to keep you in one, the producer admits. Stunt guy. Advisor. Invisible. And now? Bruce asks. Now I'm not sure what box you fit in. Bruce stops walking. Looks at him. Then don't use one. The producer studies him, then laughs quietly. You don't sound like someone asking for a role. I'm not, Bruce says. I'm offering value. The producer thinks about that. Slowly nods. Come back tomorrow, he says. Not as support. As presence. Bruce inclines his head. No celebration. No triumph. As he walks toward the exit, a grip calls out, Hey, Bruce. Bruce turns. Good work today, the man says. Genuine. Respectful. Bruce smiles. Thank you. Outside, the sun is low. Golden light spills across the lot. Bruce pauses for a moment, breathing it in. 10 minutes earlier, he was background. Now the system is adjusting around him. And Hollywood, for once, didn't see it coming. The next morning, Bruce arrives early. Hollywood sets feel different before they wake up. Quiet. Honest. No posturing yet. He walks past sound stages, crew trucks, half-lit trailers. No one tells him to stand in the back today. A few people nod as he passes. Subtle. But real. On set, the director is already there, coffee in hand, reviewing notes. Morning, Bruce, he says casually. Bruce pauses for half a second. Yesterday, no one used his name. Morning, Bruce replies. They rehearsed the fight again. This time, Bruce isn't correcting from the side. He's inside the scene. Not dominating, not showing off, simply existing with truth. Between takes, the lead actor leans in. You ever think about starring? Bruce shakes his head. I think about expressing myself honestly. The actor laughs. That might be harder. The producer watches everything. Not just Bruce's movement, but how people react to him. How attention bends toward him without effort. After the final take, the producer walks over. You know, he says, we've been trying to figure out why this feels different. Bruce waits. It's because you're not pretending to be dangerous, the producer continues. You just are. Bruce nods once. Danger doesn't need to announce itself. The producer smiles. Hollywood usually does. He extends his hand. Let's talk about something bigger. Bruce shakes it. This time, the shift isn't quiet. It's inevitable. They talk in a small office off the soundstage. Plain walls. Coffee rings on a desk. No glamour. The producer gets straight to it. I want to develop something around you. Bruce listens. Not just fights, the producer continues. Presence. Philosophy. Something audiences haven't seen. Bruce folds his hands. Then it has to be honest. The producer nods. That's what scares the studio. Bruce smiles slightly. Good. There's a pause. You know there will be resistance, the producer says. You don't look like what they expect a star to look like. Bruce meets his eyes. Then they need new expectations. The producer leans back. Studies him. You don't chase opportunity. I prepare for it, Bruce replies. The producer laughs quietly. All right. Let's try. When Bruce steps back onto the lot, the noise feels different. Not louder. More focused. A production assistant passes him and says, "See you tomorrow, Mr. Lee." Mr. Lee. Bruce keeps walking. 10 minutes changed the set. But something bigger has changed direction. Hollywood just met a force it can't reduce, rename, or put in the background. And it hasn't decided yet what to do about it. Bruce leaves the studio lot as the afternoon light fades, the sound of filming still echoing behind him. He doesn't feel victorious. He feels clear. Hollywood didn't suddenly understand him. It didn't become fair overnight. Tomorrow, there would still be meetings where his name felt unfamiliar in certain mouths. Still rooms where he would be underestimated before he spoke. But something irreversible happened on that set. They saw him. Not as a stereotype. Not as a technician. Not as someone to stand in the back. As a presence. Bruce drives home in silence, hands relaxed on the wheel. He thinks about something his father once told him, a man doesn't need to announce who he is. Time will RO, a man doesn't need to announce who he is. Time will do it for him. Bruce exhales slowly. At a red light, he watches his reflection in the windshield. Same face. Same quiet eyes. Nothing about him looks different from yesterday. But the world shifted. Not loudly. Not publicly. The way real change always happens. Tomorrow, Hollywood will still try to label him. Still try to soften him. Still try to place him somewhere safe. But now there's a crack in the system. A memory on a set. A feeling people can't explain. A question they can't unsee. Why did that feel real? Bruce turns the wheel and drives on. He didn't argue. He didn't demand respect. He didn't raise his voice. He simply showed truth, and let it do the work. 10 minutes. That's all it took. Not to conquer Hollywood. But to make it pause. And for Bruce Lee, that pause was always the beginning. Sometimes you don't change a room by being louder. You change it by being undeniable. Bruce Lee didn't ask for respect. He didn't explain himself. He let truth speak through action. Remember this. When you're underestimated, you're not behind, you're unrevealed. Stay quiet. Stay sharp. And when your moment comes, make it impossible to ignore.